Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, make sure you are hitting the subscribe button and that you also turn on your bell so you get notified every time I make a new video. Okay, it is your girl Shanice here with another quarterly update. I'm really trying to be consistent with these guys. The quarterly update of my Korean drama roundup, meaning the Korean dramas I watched in that quarter. If you've missed my first one, go ahead and check them out. And then I'll probably do one like wrapping up the first half of the year. If you want me to, I can talk about like the top 10 or whatever Korean dramas from the first half of the year, if there have been enough to qualify as that. But just let me know in the comments if that interests you at all. But this is just not rating them, or rather I should say not ranking them, but just kind of just telling you what I think about the Korean dramas I watch. Now, full disclaimer, y'all know I watch these things at least twice the speed. That's how I'm able to get through so much of them. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and we'll dive in. There were two I wasn't able to get to from the first quarter, and those two are Our Universe and Bloody Flower. I kind of made the video when I was still watching those, so I didn't talk about them. But Our Universe is, somewhat mid Korean drama, but it does star Bae In Hyuk, who I actually think is a very promising up and coming actor. And it also has Ro Jong Ui, and I'm sure I butchered her name a little bit, but she's also a very pretty actress. And they star as in-laws that have to raise their nephew orphan. The child actor is really the star. The characters are not really ones you can fully invest in or like really like fully like without feeling some type of way. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but y'all know me. I'm really here to watch beautiful people. So if you like those actors, I think it's, just a nice watch if you are ever bored, but it's not something I would seek out. And then Bloody Flower actually has a really good premise. But y'all know how I feel about whenever Korean dramas start acting like Western dramas and start trying to have multiple seasons or leave room for like a multiple season type. I mean, I don't like that. And it's the same thing, Bloodhound season 2 came out, but you're not gonna find me there. I'm not doing the multiple seasons thing, especially since I heard like it's just gonna have a third season. So I will just watch season 2 and season 3 at the same time. I'm not the one to be having on the hook for this, okay? Now, I'm not saying multiple seasons for Korean dramas does not work. I've spoken about this before. There are very, very few rare exceptions to the rules, but for the most part, I like my Korean dramas the classic way, all right? With one season, 12 to 18 episodes, and just done. Stories told, and we move on. All right, so now about the season or the quarter two, or the second quarter Korean dramas. Those are dramas that would have started airing from like April all the way through the end of June. So that one, I'll start with In Your Radiant Season. So In Your Radiant Season stars Chae Jung Hyuk and Lee Sung Kyung. Lee Sung Kyung is actually a queen that I feel like is so underrated. Um, yeah, I feel like with her, she's so beautiful, and maybe she doesn't get taken as seriously as an actress as she should be. It's really an art when I see actresses choose consistently good dramas to star in. Like, I'm actually impressed. She's been on a bit of a run. It's just that all her dramas are so underrated, and I hate that for her because she picks dramas with really good plots, and her co-stars are normally also really good actors. And this one, they had quite a bit of chemistry, and it was just very nice, slow romance with good payoff, and I liked that the lead actors, they all looked age appropriate, you know what I mean? So I think, if you're into Lee Sung Kyung and you like what she's been doing with her drama picks, you'll probably like this one as well. The second one I'll talk about is The Practical Guide to Love. I'm not gonna lie to you, this one was a bit rough to get through. It was a bit of a pain. I'm just kind of tired of that whole second lead love triangle trope. But Han Jimin is a very beautiful and very talented actress. It's just I expected more from the drama itself. It did have like really good actors in it. The cast plays their role really well. It was just another drama that, we did get to see a lot of cameos, so that's kind of fun, because of the premise of, the main lead going on so many blind dates. But ultimately, it's one of those forgettable ones that I will probably never watch again. Especially when you line it up in comparison to some of the really good dramas that have been coming out this year. I feel like all the Korean dramas now need to kind of up their game because we've actually been seeing really good dramas, and that's where Filing in Love, which is the one I'm talking about next, that's one that falls into that really good Korean drama category, at least for me. I know this one might not be everybody's cup of tea for whatever reason. Office romance are not as big as I think they should be. I personally love a good office romance, and I really feel like Filing in Love should have gotten more attention than it did. But the end was slightly rushed, if I have to say something bad about it. And it was slightly too realistic for my taste. I like, super happily ever afters, but I absolutely still love this one. I mean, the actors can't act, right? Like we have Gong Myung in there, we have Shin Hye San, who is literally like just the queen of acting at this point, and Kim Jae Wook, who I just love. I've loved him since Coffee Prince. I love seeing him in everything. Her Private Life is one of my top 10 Korean dramas, even though the end, I've talked about that before. But anyways, I really miss Kim Jae Wook, so this was like a really good one for me. And I really liked how they handled the whole premise of a second lead love triangle situation, because it wasn't really a love triangle, in that the female lead is so very straightforward, and it's really easy, at least it was really easy for me to root for her, while the male lead is, he's somewhat rough around the edges. But he's just the most adorable thing ever, and it works. And the second female lead, if I had to say something bad about the cast, the second female lead's character, she's a bit tiresome, annoying, but she's played by a really cute and adorable actress, so it kind of balances out. You don't feel it doesn't leave too bad of a taste in your mouth, even though the character is somewhat deplorable. I think the drama itself is one of those that I may not go rewatch the whole thing, but I'll probably like go back and watch some really nice scenes. It has really good scenes, really great chemistry. Yeah, definitely recommend that one. Phantom Lawyers, another really good one that came out, and it's another of the same trope of having ghost clients. And it's some might say it's starting to get old and tired, but this one I do think was executed pretty brilliantly and beautifully. I think the only reason we would say it's getting tired is because we did have Pro Bono at the start of the year, with kind of the same concept, but this one, it's slightly different, and we had Isom and Yoo Young Suk, and they're both really talented actors. They acted really well in it, had really great chemistry. I do wish they had spent a little bit more time on romance. Y'all know me, I love love. What can I say? But it is one of those serials where you get what you get, right? And they delivered on what they promised. So if you like that kind of trope, definitely go check it out. It has a little bit of everything and ghosts. So the next one I'll talk about is Yumi Cell 3, right? Season 3 of Yumi Cell. I know I normally don't like seasons, especially Korean drama. However, I will say this is one of those that is an exception. Yes, I am biased. Yes, I love Kim Go-eun, and I just think that probably because we got all 3 seasons within 5 years, I felt like it wasn't too crazy. You know, like the gap in between, it didn't feel so hard to wait, and it did wrap up within 3 seasons. So I feel like I'm good, you know, with this one being multiple seasons. But if you didn't already watch and you were waiting for all of it to end, you are now officially cleared to watch. Yumi's Cell is really well done. I think it's you know, one of the most brilliantly done seasonal Korean dramas ever. Um, this season 3, I think, is probably my best one. And honestly, if I'm being honest, could they have done it one season and only shown us, you know, a couple episodes of her first two guys? Yeah, they could have done that. But I really did appreciate kind of growing with Yumi and seeing her evolve to this mature person who still has her quirks, right? And we love Yumi. I think Kim Go-eun does such a fantastic job just captivating viewers. Um, and I think Kim Jae-won just did a great job playing Shin Soo-ruk. Like, we could see why he and Yumi just made the most sense. I don't think there was like anything else he could have done differently to make it better. He did a fantastic job. They both did. The cast was incredible. You know, I was not put off. I was not put off of this one, which is saying a lot because of how strongly I detest the multiple seasons thing, but I was not put off, and I could see myself like going back and like watching everything at once. I could see that happening. So that's saying a lot. And then we go into Siren's Kiss, which you know, honestly, with this one, I'll just say I miss Park Min Young from Her Private Life. I feel like she keeps getting like skinnier, and it's looking slightly scary, and her face just keeps getting it. I just miss how she used to look a few years back in Her Private Life. I think that was like peak for me. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, so of course everybody has their preference. But I just felt like this drama was so unnecessarily tied to like trying to make the viewer suspect the main lead. And no offense, but that time could have been used to tell the story better. Like, it just felt like they were trying to push something in our faces, and it just doesn't work. Like, we already could predict the story. Like, I already knew going in without even spoiling it for myself, like what to expect, you know? So I feel like this one could have been done better. Maybe it was the directing. I'm not really sure. I don't want to assign blame to anything or anyone, but it was a really good concept that just didn't play well for me. And I wasn't too big of a fan of the male lead either. I didn't feel any kind of chemistry between the two of them. It just kind of seemed forced. And the one good things I will say about this drama is that I loved seeing Elijah and Ha Seok Jin. They were sort of cameo roles, very brief appearances within the show, but really I love it. I love seeing them, and I love that he's coming out with a drama where he's the male lead. I have missed him since 1% of something, or something about 1%, that drama he did. I have missed him since then, so I'm really excited to see him back. Even though I've been seeing him in the variety shows, I'm very excited to see him back as a male lead. All right, then we'll get into Teach You a Lesson, which is one of the better dramas that came out. I love that all the episodes came out at once. I love that Netflix does that. Like let's petition for more people to do that. Teach You a Lesson was so well done. It reminded me of The Glory, but without the romance, and just that satisfying bullies getting what they deserve. Yeah, we love that, especially because of how despicable a lot of the bullies in Korean dramas are. And of course the bullies here are just ugh. But I love that it wasn't just flat out villainy. Like, there was, you know, like a lot of complexities in the characters and in the stories that were told. I know there was some controversy around this one and how it was adapted, but I really do genuinely think they did a fantastic job. And I think the male lead, you know, after this one, he's gotten a lot more shows that are coming out. This was really a breakthrough show for him. So I'm really excited. I've always known about him. I think he's a really good actor. And I'm excited to see all the opportunities that come his way, you know, as a result. All right, and what else would I say? I will say, yeah, if you are looking for a really good revenge done right, you want to see Korean bullies get what they deserve at every level, not just in school, but the politicians and all that. Go watch Teach You a Lesson on Netflix. They didn't pay me to say that. I'm just telling you the truth. All right, another Netflix one is My Royal Nemesis. I feel like this one did get all the popularity it deserved. It deserved every bit of popularity. I love that we're getting new stories, you know, like this story is fresh, it's new. The male lead, I haven't seen him play a male lead before this, and he did a fantastic job. Ho Nam Jun, like he did a fantastic job, and of course Lim Ji-yeon, she is such a great actress, especially knowing her as the villain from The Glory. This one brings her back to her villainess roots, and she does a fantastic job because obviously, like if you've watched any bit of it, you know, like the villainess is a very loosey goosey term with this one. Like she's not like necessarily bad, but I do think that this one was done really well. The male character is supposed to be like a ruthless chaebol, and you know just the way he loves on the male or the on the female lead is just, oh, we love watching love. We love watching love over here, and I just again I love how this one is handled. Like what's the second lead, like is there a triangle? It's not, it's just done right. I'm telling you, you can do good Korean dramas properly without having to have second lead syndrome. Seriously, let's have leads that don't encourage second lead syndrome. More of that, please. Yeah, because this guy was just, and I'm not saying he was without flaws, of course not, but he's written beautifully and the actors portray them beautifully, and I will forever think of Hyun Nam Jun as Chasege. Every time she says Chasege, Chasege. Oh, I just loved it. I just loved it. And then my final one that I watched this quarter is Reborn Rookie, and that one, you know, did lead into July a little bit, but it's okay. Um, I think this one was probably one of the top ones too that I liked. You know, it's just only 12 episodes, so they didn't try to drag it out like they sometimes do. And it stars Lee Jun Young, who is just so criminally underrated. It's insane. Like this guy can act. Why is he so underrated? I don't get it. But this is one of those revenge dramas where, you know, the chaebol chairman switches bodies with an injured soccer player and goes on to get revenge, and you know it's like office plot politics and chaebol drama and all that, and you know with even some romance mixed in. So it's a really decent drama, really nice binge worthy one if you're looking for something to watch. I will say the end made me cringe a little bit, but not in like a horrible way, so it still stands up. I did make separate videos for Wonderfuls on Netflix and If Wishes Could Kill and Perfect Crown. So go check those out if you want to know my thoughts on those other dramas. But I didn't include them in here since I've already talked about them before. And then there are a few dramas I could not bring myself to watch, including The Absolute Value of Romance, We're All Trying Here, Still Shining, and Honor. I tried watching a few episodes of Sold Out on You. I just could not, for the life of me, get into it. I'm sorry. It just was not working out. Okay. So if any of those dramas you think I should give a chance, just let me know. The one that I'm thinking of watching of them is maybe the We Are All Trying Here, because I did hear some really good things from people that I trust about that drama being really good and well written. It's just, you know, I like happy dramas, so I want something that I can like be happy and watch, you know, happily. So but let me know, and if you have strong feelings one way or the other, I may give it a shot. If you can convince me that it's worth my time. But okay, which one of them did you agree with? What did you feel like I should have talked more about? Or was there a Korean drama that I didn't even mention at all that really stuck out to you? Let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you guys, and I will see you soon with another video. I'm trying to, I know I've been I'm trying to be consistent with this, so please forgive me. It's just, things happen, and I'm trying to be as consistent with my YouTube videos as I have been in the past. So please keep praying for me and encouraging me in my comments. I love seeing your comments that are encouraging. They just make my day. And the best thing about everything is that God loves you. So I'll see you shortly, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. And I hope you're going to church tomorrow. You need to go to church tomorrow. Bye.